This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 1051. 2 Big Reasons You Don't Make and Keep Mobility Gains by Kate Galliett of the unbreakablebody.com. And I'm Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Saturday. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I act as your narrator of the best health and fitness blogs, all for free. Now, we have 5 shows where we do this, covering a bunch of different topics. Just search for Optimal Living Daily in any podcast app to find them. So today's topic is super fascinating and super important to me. I'll share a personal story at the end as part of my commentary. But for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. 2 Big Reasons You Don't Make and Keep Mobility Gains by Kate Galliett of the unbreakablebody.com. Which of these sounds like you? 1. You do mobility work and feel like you make progress in your session, but the gains don't seem to stick because each time you go to start your mobility work, it feels like you're back on day 1 again. 2. You make quick gains to your mobility by using a few mobility hacks or tricks you learned on Instagram, but there's been very few gains since that initial one. Or 3. You make slow, steady improvements in your mobility such that you don't have to put as much time into that aspect of your fitness anymore, and it's fairly easy to maintain and expand upon what you've built with some minor modifications to your program. If you think the third one sounds like magical unicorn type stuff, keep listening, because I'm going to teach you 2 big reasons you aren't in Camp 3 yet, and how to address them. Why are they treated differently? The first place to begin is with this question. Why are goals that are related to mobility or healing aches and pains treated differently than goals that are related to strength or cardiovascular improvement? With mobility work and stuff that helps heal your aches, it's fairly common for folks to feel like the gains never last and accept it as just part of the deal with mobility. They'll say things like, "My hamstrings feel great after I stretch them, but every morning they're tight again." It's also common for folks to get excited about what feels like a quick gain to their mobility after doing a special trigger point thing with a lacrosse ball, or a pigeon pose while counting backwards from 10, or some other mobility hack they saw some slick person on Instagram teaching them in a sponsored post, only to have the needle not move much at all in the department of mobility gains after that initial success. But with cardio and strength goals, you know that you should see steady, consistent progress over an extended period of time. And you know that you should never feel like you're starting at day 1 all over again each time you do the workout. Not to mention, it's agreed upon that any sort of secret trick for instant strength or endurance doesn't actually work, because real gains are made over the long haul with sustainable, reasonable programming. Whether it's a goal to improve strength, endurance, speed, mobility, or pain, the same constant holds true. In order to make progress, cells must adapt, and cellular adaptation happens when you send a specific signal consistently over a long period of time using force to tell the cells how you want them to respond. So, why would you view the path to your mobility and heal your aches goals any differently than the path to your strength and cardiovascular goals? How to make steady, consistent progress. Here is why you might find yourself in either Camp 1, feeling like it's Groundhog Day all over again each day, or Camp 2, making a quick initial gain, but not much thereafter. 1. You're not building a solid foundation for lasting change. And 2, you're putting time into things, but not the things your body needs most at this time for this goal. So, how do you build a solid foundation for lasting change? While you could walk through every single aspect of human anatomy, biology, physical training, and life that influences how you change your body, the point of this article is to give you a starting point, and it's this. Develop your 6 pillars. Several years into my coaching career, I developed the 6 pillars framework to help people build their foundations strong and solid. When folks addressed each of the 6 pillars, lots of good things happened. They moved better, they felt better, and they performed better. They also stopped having stutters in their training because random aches or tweaks were no longer cropping up to sideline or sidetrack them. This was especially true for my athletes, but it held true for non-athletes as well. Before building their 6 pillars, the person would be training for some goal, and then aches or injuries would occur inevitably. After building their 6 pillars, these aches and tweaks disappeared and didn't return. And it wasn't because the 6 pillars are some magic potion. Remember, we don't do magic or secret tricks here. It was because of what the 6 pillar teaches the individual to do. They become able to catch something before it catches them. That is, they're able to key into the things their body needs through each season of training and life and provide them in a timely manner. They were building the mobility, control, and strength in 6 key areas of the body, and they were learning how to assess their body regularly and apply whatever slight shifts in focus were needed. The results were consistent and sustainable. No more stuttering starts and stops to their progress. So, what are the 6 pillars? Mobile feet, strong glutes, mobile hips, strong torso, mobile shoulders, strong posture. The 6 pillars start you on the path to building a solid foundation for lasting change. Now, how do you make sure you're putting time into the things your body needs most at this time for this goal? The 6 pillars framework also helps tremendously on that front by showing you the map for where and what to focus on to support your current endeavors in conjunction with the following concept: assess and apply. Assess and apply is a simple way for you to organize yourself and your focus on your training because it gives you a hierarchy to work through. This helps you determine if you're working on the right things for right now. Teachers have used this sort of concept with students for a long time. If the teacher wants the student to know how to do long division, they must first be sure that the student can multiply and subtract, 2 skills that will be put to use when doing long division. If the student can't multiply or subtract, no one should be surprised when learning long division doesn't go so well. Translating the long division example into fitness, it might look something like do a pull-up, run my first 5K, or compete in a powerlifting meet. In order to do all those things, you must have joints that are functional. In the case of the pull-up goal, if your shoulder joint does not allow your arm to raise fully over your head without compensating anywhere else, you're going to be trying to do long division without knowing how to multiply and subtract. You'll learn long division and pull-ups more efficiently if you've ticked the boxes for things that preclude the more advanced skill. Joint function is the clear place to start, but this is so often overlooked as you decide to jump into a pull-up or push-up or running program without actually checking that your joints have enough capsular health and passive and active ranges of motion to do so. When you build your 6 pillars and learn to assess and apply, you start to live in a world where you make slow, steady improvements in your mobility and heal your aches goals. You maintain those achievements more easily, and you can expand upon what you've built with some minor modifications to your program, almost as if by magic, except not magic, because it's real work that works. You just listened to the post titled 2 Big Reasons You Don't Make and Keep Mobility Gains by Kate Galliett of the Unbreakablebody.com. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. I love Kate's 6 pillars concept. It's such a simple way for us to remember to ensure that we maintain the health of the entire body, because when we move, we rely on all of these muscles to function optimally. I'll tell you about my struggles with this. My lower back always seemed to be weak. After years of long commutes to my various jobs and avoiding performing any kind of deadlift or holding the plank position, my lower back, glutes, and hamstrings were obviously quite weak. I was finally tired of all of the lower back tension I kept experiencing and decided to make that area of my body stronger. Now, at the time, I thought I was in great shape. Boy, was I humbled. I wanted to make sure my form was perfect when trying these new moves. Again, these moves were new to me. So I had my buddy, who had a Master of Science degree in kinesiology, show me how to perform the moves correctly. Scratch that. Not correctly. Perfectly. My first attempt at deadlifting? Well, how'd that go? I could only lift like 95 pounds. I lifted it 5 times and felt like I was going to pass out. Holding the plank position? I was lucky if I could hold it for 10 seconds straight without dropping to my knees. But I had my goals in mind, and I knew I wanted my lower back to feel better, so I kept at it. And, like magic, I got better over time. And as Kate would have predicted based on her 6 pillars, everything else started getting stronger, as if by magic. Because all of the deadlifting I was doing as I increased the weight, my grip strength improved, which was not something I really ever thought about. My forearms got bigger and stronger too. Both of these then helped me perform more pull-ups. So deadlifting magically helped me do more pull-ups. All that deadlifting, of course, strengthened my hamstrings and glutes as well, which allowed me to hold the plank position longer. Instead of holding the position for just 10 seconds, I quickly jumped to 30 seconds, then to a minute, then to a minute and a half. And guess what? My lower back is no longer an issue. So, based on my experience, I can tell you the 6 pillars work. But again, you have to work at it. All right, that'll do it from me for today. I hope you have a great weekend if you're listening in real time, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for the Sunday show and where your optimal life awaits.